This episode of Express Training Bites is brought to you by PageFlip. Not going to in-person trade shows this year and still need to get your catalogs out to those distributors? Upload your digital catalog to Promo Corner's PageFlip. Contact sales at promocorner.com. This is Express Training Bites. I am Brandon Petrich, and I am joined today by Mr. Promo Golf himself, Danny Henderson. Danny, how the hell are you, man?
I am doing wonderful. Can we make this a little quick? I got a tea time in 20 minutes.
And I wouldn't expect anything less, man. That is awesome. Well, hey, so the theme of all of this is actually golf, and that's why we titled this little piece of quick training, Finding Your Successful Foursome. Now, we're not exactly talking about just your four people or just the people that you play golf with, but the business group that you lean on to add success to your business. So, Danny, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then he's going to give us a little bit of training on his little inner circle or his foursome. So, Danny, do you have an inner circle or a foursome, and how have you used that network, or how did you find and build that network?
I do have a large foursome, a wonderful group of actually, it's suppliers, distributors, and service providers. That's the word I was looking for there. But it's been, once you get a good group of people together, distributors, you could bounce ideas off each other. Suppliers help you out in any way, shape, or form they can. It's been a huge help to grow my business, having that group. And how did I do it? Everybody can do it differently. My way was a little different. I went to every industry happy hour thing that I could find. I think we've gotten more work done at a bar than we ever have in an office. It's definitely where you get to know the real person instead of the business side that some people show. Mm-hmm. So it's been, that's the way I did it. But I think going into any industry event, any regional association event where you can actually network and get to know these people, that's where your real help is going to be.
Well, and I think that's actually how you and I met. I mean, we've kind of had a friendship we almost hit it off right away, but we met at an industry event. I think it was an EME over in Salt Lake City. Park City. So I remember seeing you there, and then it was like every event I went to, there was this guy, Danny Henderson, was at everything. I swear there were like four of you at every event, man. And so, no, I think that's awesome. And I think you're right. There is a little bit of a negative side when people say that we meet each other at bars. Now, we are the younger side of promo, right? We're the older guys. We've been in it for a while. I mean, how long have you been in the promo industry?
It'll be 20 years in June.
See, and I've been in it for 16. So we've been in the industry for a long time, but we're under 40 years old. So we're the old young dudes in the industry. And so what I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about today too is not only do you just find those people and that real person out at the bar or at an industry event, but how important has it been to have that business inner circle for your business and your personal life?
I think in business, it's helped in a bunch of different ways. In things where I needed help on orders or something pushed through faster, or just any kind of an order going wrong and I needed to talk to somebody that I trusted, I can call that direct line and feel like instead of calling a regular customer service person, that I'm calling somebody I know, trust, and like, that I know is going to go above and beyond to try to fix that. Maybe get a setup wave to win an order. Referrals have been huge. Supplier friends that they get contacted by an end user, they've got to give that order to somebody. So having friends definitely helps out that way. Now, what was part two of this question?
In how has it helped in your personal life? Have you leveraged that group in your personal life as well?
I would think out of a group of that I would call my closest friends, I would say probably 80% of those people are from the industry. From vacations together, golf trips, just everything outside the industry. You and I've been, and a couple other industry people have gone camping, what do we do? Mud runs. These are things that I haven't even done with my outside of the industry friends. It's been huge. I've come to the conclusion that one day, if I ever happen to get married, I might as well do it at like PPAI or an industry event, because it's going to be all industry people. So I don't know. I think that would just save everybody an extra plane flight, and we could all be together.
That's awesome. And that's one way to get a wedding onto your business expenses. So watch out in the future. Danny Henderson married at PPAI Expo when we can actually go physically again. All right. I
That is
like that
true.
idea.
And let me throw in just a couple shout outs real quick, because having the close industry friends, this wonderful polo shirt sponsored by Ben Taylor, Christmas gift from SNS Activewear, thanks to Megan Zezo Taylor. So you never know what you might get in the mail one day from close friends.
Well, and they know who you are, right? So they know the real you. So like, you're not just going to get some random samples. So when you reach out to them for a job for one of your customers, because they know who you are, because they've they have more insight, they're going to be able to give you a better idea of who your customers are too. And I think that kind of helps out personally. Now, do you think that you have been, do you just let everybody into your inner circle, into your group, into your foursome, or are you pretty picky about who gets to come in?
Um, I'm pretty open to meeting anybody. That's one of the best parts about going out to, like, right now, we'd probably be getting ready to go to Eye Candy pretty soon in a couple hours if we were in Vegas. And that's where you can meet a ton of people. But as far as, I don't know. I mean, I think it takes the right kind of person to fit in. But I mean, once they do, they're pretty much in for life. I haven't had anybody in my inner circle leave yet.
Yet.
And the first person would probably be you.
That's why I said yet.
Yeah. But no, I think getting a group together that you're close with is huge. It's huge for growing your business. It's huge just because it makes the industry event so much more fun. You look forward to going there. You're more likely to go out maybe with them. You meet more people, and all these different people you meet can somehow help your business in one way or another.
Yep, absolutely, man. Word of mouth and just interactions with real people. And I think that's the big thing that while virtual expo is fantastic because it is connecting the distributor to the supplier, that's the other thing that we're missing, is just that massive group of people that is walking down the hallway at the end of each day or at the beginning of each day and just running into somebody that they know, but you're with them, and then you get introduced, and now your circle becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that's awesome. And then in full transparency here, you moved from California to Texas recently. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
So how are you leveraging that inner circle that you've got? Because I'm assuming it's most likely nationwide. I mean, you've been to every industry event, so you know people from across the nation. How are you leveraging that group to help you start and then succeed in your new location?
Well, in a way, it's having people that close to you. I can call them and say, hey, I'm going to go after these companies in Texas now. What have you seen selling into these industries in this city or in this region? And here's a logo. Get back to me with some ideas that you've seen working for Texas as compared to California, which are completely different markets.
Yes.
So it's been a change, but one that I was able to lean on a lot of people for their ideas, their expertise. And it's definitely made things much easier than having to just do it alone and try to figure it out as I go. So that's been very helpful.
Yeah. I wondered about that. I mean, because that's a big move, right? I mean, that's a culture change from being in the state of LA, inside of the state of California, and then moving to the country of Texas. It's just I always worried about that, but that's awesome. Oh my gosh. So Lori Moore just chimed in on our Facebook thread. And if you guys have any questions for me or Danny or for anybody during any of these, you can always throw them into the thread at on Facebook as you're watching it there. Lori said we should sign you up for the promo matchmaking series. So Nadav, Raviv, we actually put out a new piece of content called "Till Promo Do Us Part," and Nadav said, when are we going to come up with like a bachelorette of promo? So I think we just found contestant number 2, ladies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check my Palm Pilot, see if I'm free.
Yeah, just let me check the old schedule. Oh man, that's awesome. So now when we talk about a foursome, right, we talk about a group of people and a true inner circle. So we've got a whole group of people that we can call if we wanted to go play golf or have a business idea. But there's those 4 people. could you give a shout out? Would you feel comfortable giving a shout out as to who are like maybe the three other people in the industry that you either watch their content or look at what they're doing online or have a weekly text with them? Do you have that kind of communication with your inner group?
Oh, picking three more that's not fair. That's not fair. Um, let's see. Okay, content wise, obviously everybody's watching you. We got to throw you in there. Um, let's see. Ray Jimenez, obviously that guy is like a brother to me. And we met when he was selling bags, and we were buying bags, and now we spend Thanksgivings together. So let's see. Megan Zezo, I've known one of the longest times forever. She's been like family. And then the rest would be like a huge group of people. So if I start naming names, we're going to be here for a half hour.
Right.
And I'm already going to get yelled at for not saying names.
So exactly. No, I can already think of three people that you're probably getting texts from right now. So.
I know. I mean, you got to get like Joe, Nate, Ben, Alyssa, Michael Reesbaum. This can go on for hours. So.
Exactly. Well, so now you work for your mom's company. You're the VP of sales at the at a Foursome office. And I think that goes a long way to kind of helping start your inner circle. You already started in, a well-established business inside of one of the industry's largest national buying groups. And so what advice would you give to somebody who is new or upcoming in the industry to build their tribe outside of just going to all the events? Because obviously 2020 was different. 2021, we still may not be able to go into a bunch of events. So what advice would you give somebody on how to do it? Does it happen overnight or does it take time? What's some advice?
No, definitely not overnight. It's going to take time, but there's all these other industry, virtual events we can do right now. Join Promo Kitchen. Be a chef, find a chef, have somebody help mentor you, guide you. Just get to know your local suppliers, call your regional ones and start asking for ideas and let them get to know your customers. And through running ideas back and forth, you get to know each other over the phone a little bit. And then when things can go back to normal, maybe have an in-person meeting, go out, grab a drink. But just leverage who you have around you. You have so many different options. That's the way I would do it right now if I was starting out. Look at your regional meetings. Shout out to SAC. Look at your regional meetings.
You got me right before I was going to ask it. That was my last question for you, but I love that you're doing that. It's a perfect segue. So yeah, you were talking about your regional reps, your local people, the people that are around you, because the promo industry is a lot bigger when you start really digging down into it. And there's a lot of people around your area that are doing some pretty amazing things.
Right.
So that leads us to the regional associations. You were with SAC. So how has that kind of helped you grow? Did that come because of your inner circle, or do you think that's helped you grow your inner circle? How has SAC helped you out?
I actually was brought on to SAC from people that I've known. Actually, other distributors asked me to join. I was kind of against it at first. I didn't really see the benefits for me joining because I was so out there, and the networking to me was what I was doing on the weekends anyways. I was spending time with my industry friends. But by joining SAC and learning more about what they really can offer and help, and all the education you can get, the people you can meet, it's been huge. You make more connections, and I thought I knew everybody, and you start meeting even more people. It's been incredibly huge with the helping business grow, especially the education part. During COVID, not meeting anybody, SAC was doing the SAC lunches, and half hour meet your, basically for Southern California, your local rep. It was a great way for the people to get to know who's around them, who to get in contact with. But yeah, the regional side has been a huge help.
That's awesome. Yeah. And because we are virtual and there are a lot more virtual events, their social media plays a big role in what we do, right? In how we grow things. Do you have a big social media presence, or do you just use it as another way to stay in contact with those people that you had physical contact with before?
I would say at this point now, my Facebook and Instagram are probably, between people I've known my entire life and industry people, probably about 50-50 now. I think that's a good way to get to know the real person. quick shout out to Dana Zezo, because he was one of the first people to get social networking kind of mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked him when I was younger, and I said, should I have a business page and a personal page? And his response was no. Let people see, the real you. They don't want to see this just business fake person and then not know who you really are. The more people who see the real you, it's, that's how you make the real connections. So put the two together, be yourself, and just go from there. But definitely add people on in the industry on social media, because I mean, even the PPAI pages, the boards are extremely helpful. You start getting to know names, you meet them at shows. It's, yeah, you got to do it.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I still remember the first time I was working a booth at PPAI and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, Brandon." And they just started talking to me and they were going a mile a minute and they were saying things that I don't know who this person is. I don't know that they know all of this about me. Come to find out, we're friends on Facebook and they've been watching everything that I do and I post. And so it's so cool. It's super powerful, especially right now, because we aren't doing all of those massive in-person events. Get out there and really search for your tribe, search for your people that are close to you and kind of build your network. That's awesome, man. Um, any last pieces of advice for let's say the older generation on how they can connect with the younger generation without meeting at a bar?
Without meeting at a bar?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's where I met half the older generation that I'm friends with right now. So, oh man, yeah, I. Let's just
Here, let me help you out. So we're so focused in this industry, is especially, you and I started a ways back, and we were so focused on just making sure that we were there and present and at all of those events to really get to have those stories and those connections outside of the business realm. But nowadays people sit on their phones, they're texting, they're on Instagram, they're hitting up DMs, they're going, they're doing all of that stuff. So would your advice, so we always focus on the younger people, the people that are coming in, but how would you help yeah, I just got told to define the older generation. So older than
Good
me.
luck.
Yeah. So smart move, Danny. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where if you've been doing something for so long in a certain way and there's a new way that comes around, you and I are in that weird spot. Like I said, we're that older young generation. And so we see the gap, we see the between the two, right? So there's the people that have been in it for 25, 30 plus years, and they're like, I just wish these millennials or these new people would understand, you know, the way that it's done. So that's
Right.
what I'm kind of, we always focus on how to give advice for the younger to come to the older. What's advice that we would give the older to come down to the younger?
It would be, don't always be so stuck in your ways. Just because this is the way that it always worked doesn't necessarily mean this is the way that it will only work.
Mm-hmm.
With all the technology that we have now, with the access to everything that we have now, there could be faster, better, more efficient ways. Save you time, which is saving you money. Now, not all of the ideas are going to work, but be open to at least hear them out, try them maybe, and see if it helps you grow your business. The more time you have, the more money you can make.
Love it, man. I love it. I think it's one of those things. If we just wrap this up real quick, it's find that group of people, leverage them in both your business and your personal life, get them to know the real you, right?
Mhm.
And then yeah, make friends with Danny Henderson. Danny, how can they become friends with you, buddy?
Well, however they want to. Facebook, Instagram, come find me in person. California, Texas, I'll be back and forth. So, just go to your local golf course. I might be there. That's let me throw that in too. Like anybody that likes to golf on a Friday afternoon around 3:00, preferably when the time changes again, if you've got time changes. Because business people leave early on Fridays and they skip out to the golf course. And I've got my largest customer I met at a golf course. Quite a few customers I met at a golf course on Friday afternoons. Just show up, golf. I would golf alone and just get put in a group, and either they do it or they know somebody who's buying the stuff you need. So that's been huge for business too.
So would that go? I mean, is that just still hand in hand with like that's the real you? They're seeing the real you out on the golf course. They're liking this guy. I'm gonna do business with this guy.
Yeah, they're seeing me drink beers, throw golf club. I'm just kidding. Um, no, yeah, I mean, what better way to have four to I mean, maybe six, hopefully not. Any wives watching golf actually takes 9 hours. Um, yeah, I mean, what better way to have four uninterrupted hours? There we
Yeah.
go. To spend with somebody and get to know them.
Yeah.
I mean, other than at a bar sitting there. But then you may not remember what we talked about.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only other part. Oh, okay. We got a really good question, and then we'll wrap it up. So the last one, Robert Perez
Yeah.
asks, is Danny a good golfer?
Um, I mean, in my eyes, I like to think so, but it depends on the day. I counted some trophies earlier because I thought you might bring it up. The only thing I'm known for in the golf world is right here. That's all I do. I think there was 17 long drive trophies in the other room. It depends on the day, who knows?
All right, so are you better at golf or are you better at sales?
Oh God.
Golf. Oh yeah. I'm putting you on the spot now, buddy.
Definitely golf. Definitely.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Awesome, man. Well, Danny, thank you so much, man. People reach out to Danny. He has been one of my best friends. Funny story, when we actually did meet, it was at an EME event. It was in Park City. We did meet at a bar, but then literally the next day was when his mom and him came into our meeting. And because I tried to keep up with Danny the night before, I actually fell asleep during the meeting. So it's those stories when you're hanging out with those people in the industry. It's not just the meeting that you had. It's not just that one time you saw each other in a booth at an expo. It's all of those accidental collisions, all of that stuff on the outside that allows you to become really good friends. And people buy from people they know, like, and trust, as our friend Kirby Hasseman says. So Danny, thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being awesome in the promo industry and being a promo golfer and being better at golf than you are at sales so that there's more business out there for the rest of us.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. And anytime you want to get beat at golf again, you just let me know.
I think we're doing that this weekend.
We'll close some deals this weekend.
All right. Everybody, that's been Express Training Bites. We will see you next Thursday.